Do you think someone who's died could come back to life? Your subordinate finds this extremely strange. According to the information I've gathered, that eldest Miss Mew truly showed no signs of life that day. The senior madam of the Mew family fainted from crying several times, and even after Miss Mew was buried, she was on the verge of a breakdown. But who would have thought that Miss Mew would actually come back to life? I wonder if the entire Mew household will be thrown into chaos once they find out about this. Interesting, truly interesting. In the Ruyi courtyard of the Mew family's second madam, the mother and daughter were happily chatting. Mother, that little wretch is finally dead. Does that mean I'm now the only Miss Dai of the Prime Minister's residence? Of course, my daughter is so beautiful, gentle, and sensible, and your maternal grandfather is the Minister of Personnel. How could your title, as Miss Dai, possibly be compared to that merchant girl from the main branch? That's wonderful. Mother, does that mean the engagement between the Prime Minister's residence and the third prince is now mine? So it turns out that Mu Shuxue had long set her sights on the third prince, because he is the Empress's legitimate son, and the most likely to ascend the throne. Although the first prince also has a chance to compete with the third prince, the crown prince always appears sickly, so the emperor will have to consider carefully. Shuxu, don't worry. Tonight, when your father and I are studying human anatomy, I'll have him talk about it properly. Soon, Prime Minister Mu returned to the residence, and the second madam had already prepared sobering soup for him. Prime Minister, you've worked hard outside. I've already prepared sobering soup for you, and after that, you can have a bowl of nourishing soup, so you'll have the energy for tonight. Madam, you're so thoughtful. It's so late, yet you still waited up for me and went to all this trouble. With such care, what more could I ask for? This warm and harmonious atmosphere came to an abrupt end with the arrival of Mu Fengjian. When the three of them saw Mu Fengjian, one was utterly terrified, one fell to the ground in shock, and the other fainted from fright. Mu Fengjian took out some impotence-inducing poison from her spatial storage, slowly walked up to Prime Minister Mu, and mischievously picked up a teacup to look at him. Father, how could you be so careless? Look, you've even fallen to the ground. Have some tea to calm your nerves. Prime Minister Mu looked horrified, unsure whether the daughter before him was a human or a ghost. After drinking the tea, cold sweat broke out all over him. After that, Mu Fengjian sprinkled some colorless and tasteless poisonous powder on the faces of the second madam and Mu Shakshu, who were nearby. Seeing the crowd around her frozen in fear, Mu Fengjian walked away contentedly toward her grandmother's Jifu courtyard. Everywhere Mu Fengjian passed, the maids and servants either fainted from fright or ran away screaming. Inside the hall, her grandmother was having a meal. Even Mu Fengjian, standing to the side, couldn't help but curse inwardly at this whole family every single one of them was eating. But who was thinking about her mother? The entire Mu household's food and drink depended on her mother's business, yet not a single person cared about her. The old nanny beside her finally noticed Mu Fengjian. Grandmother was fine, eating heartily. Young miss, are you a person or a ghost? Nanny Li, I'm so cold. What about you? Before she could finish speaking, both grandmother and Nanny Li fainted. How fragilely they just fainted like that. Afterward, Mu Fengyan dragged grandmother and Nanny Li to the doorway, letting the old madam truly experience the chill of the late night. At some point, Ye Li Jui, who was on the roof, witnessed the scene and couldn't help but sigh. Interesting, very interesting.